This evening, Minister Dharamlall under investigation for rape allegations as Childcare and Protection Agency leads probe. Opposition's legal challenge to NRF bill dismissed. 2 individuals arrested and charged with possession of narcotics. In the region, boxing in Cuba, female fighters set their sights on the Olympics. And internationally, scientists warn of irreversible sea ice melting in Antarctica. Welcome to this broadcast of Channel 2's Headline News Update for June 20th, 2023. I am Baby Bacchus. Thank you for joining us. First up, the allegation of rape made by a 16-year-old girl against the Minister of Local Government and Regional Development, Dharamlall, is being thoroughly investigated by the Childcare and Protection Agency. Minister of Human Services and Social Security, Dr. Vinay Prasad, confirmed this development on Monday. Dr. Prasad informed that a statement had been obtained from the alleged victim and a forensic report had been compiled as part of the investigation. The girl is also receiving essential counseling and psychological support from the qualified professionals. These actions are in accordance with the provisions outlined in the 2010 Sexual Offences Act. Throughout the investigation, the girl will be placed under protective care. Dharamlall was arrested on Monday evening when he turned up at the Brigdam police station accompanied by his lawyer Nigel Hughes for questioning in relation to the rape allegations levied against him by the 16-year-old indigenous girl. He was subsequently released on $1 million station bail. A brief statement released by police headquarters confirmed the launch of an investigation into the allegations. The alleged incident reportedly took place on December 2022. Following the emergence of the allegations on social media last week, Dharamlall engaged the services of Hughes, Fields and Stobie law firm. Meanwhile, in light of the severe nature of the accusations, Dharamlall has taken administrative leave this week. In other news, in a significant operation targeting drug trafficking, law enforcement officers successfully apprehended 2 individuals and brought them before the court. Dale Jarvis has more details.
In a recent operation, police ranks apprehended 2 individuals on charges related to drug trafficking. Ken Benjamin, a 53-year-old resident of Hopkinson Street, Republic Park, East Bank Demerara, was arrested and charged on Monday for the offense of possession of narcotics for the purpose of trafficking. Benjamin appeared before Principal Magistrate Sunil Scars at the Diamond Golden Grove Magistrates Court. He pleaded not guilty to the charges and was subsequently remanded to prison. Benjamin was arrested on June 14, 2023 at his residence, where authorities seized a substantial quantity of cannabis weighing over 50,000 grams. The case has been adjourned to August 14, 2023 to allow for submission of statements. Another individual, 24-year-old John Hodge of Prospect, East Bank Demerara, was arrested on June 15, 2023 for possession of narcotics for the purpose of trafficking. The arrest followed an incident at Hodge's residence where law enforcement discovered approximately 161.2 grams of cannabis. Hodge appeared before Principal Magistrate Sunil Scars at the Diamond Golden Grove Magistrates Court 1. He pleaded guilty to the charges brought against him. As a result, Hodge was sentenced to 3 years of imprisonment and an imposed fine of 30,000 Guyana dollars. Reporting for Headline News Update, Dale Jarvis.
Thanks, Dale. Opposition Chief Whip Christopher Jones and trade unionist Norris Witter have been unsuccessful in their legal challenge against the Natural Resource Fund Bill's passage, as Justice Narendra Singh ruled. The judge stated that the absence of the maize during the passing of the bill did not render it invalid, as the presence of the maize is not required by the Constitution or the laws of Guyana. Attorney General Alan Nandlall echoed this sentiment, emphasizing that the maize has no bearing on the legislative power of Parliament. The Attorney General welcomed the court's decision, highlighting its significance for the nation's legal development. The case stemmed from an incident when members of the opposition disrupted the defense of the bill, including an attempt to remove the maize. Represented by their attorneys, Jones and Witter sought judicial review and relief under the Constitution, but their case was dismissed in its entirety by Justice Narendra Singh. The defendants were awarded costs of $250,000 against each claimant. Stick around when we return. Former prison inmate receives support to restart welding trade through government's Fresh Start initiative, and Ministry of Health provides continued support to Madi fire victims as recovery progresses.
When you need money and you gotta get it fast, Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. That Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 4-6 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brickdam and White Castle Fish Shop, be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure, always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
Smart Minds Educational Institute, offering preschool, nursery, and primary levels. Finally, a school that is every parent's dream. Located at 69 Crow Street, offering academic excellence, trained qualified teachers, small class sizes, personalized gear, and one-to-one attention for your little ones. At Smart Minds, register for full-time or evening classes, daily practice pass exam papers for proficiency at the grade 2, 4, and 6 assessment, and CXE exam preparedness. Or join our Becca Phonics reading and writing program. So if your child is for preschool, nursery, or primary level, come to Smart Mind, located at 69 Street, or call 231-4885 or 600-9229 to enroll now.
Hello, my fellow TikToker followers. He is Credit, and today all we will be making Chinese noodles with peppies, chow mein, chicken fritters, and spice cake. For the noodles, all of these will be using peppies, black pepper, cashew,
Chinese sauce, soy sauce, garlic sauce, paprika, Chinese seasoning, chow mein seasoning, five spice, and all-purpose seasoning.
Next, this chicken that we marinate soak for all you who don't know nothing with peppies, green seasoning, miracle seasoning,
Pepper sauce, chicken seasoning, paprika, garlic powder, jerk seasoning, black pepper, onion powder, and ginger powder, and document plantain flour. And then this butter we make with this quick piece powder, and we
boil in high. We serve with peppies, barbecue sauce. Radhika went to the supermarket and she proper buy up enough things. She feels she alone can cook, but she routine even wrong. He shaped like a guy in a map.
Peppies has a wide range of ingredients available at supermarkets nationwide. Peppies, we put the pep back into your kitchen.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny? I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again. Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Welcome back. The Ministry of Health continues to provide psychological and psychiatric support to those affected by the deadly fire at the Madhya Secondary School dormitory. Teams from the ministry, along with foreign experts and the Mount Sinai Health System, are on the ground in Madhya offering assistance and training to health professionals. Telemedicine sites have been established in affected communities to provide further medical support, allowing remote communication with doctors in Georgetown. The recovery of the fire victim, who was medevaced to a burn care center in New York, is progressing well. The tragic fire incident on May 21, 2023, claimed the lives of 19 female students and a 5-year-old boy, with the perpetrator facing charges for murder. In a positive development, a former prison inmate has been given an opportunity to rebuild his life and pursue his welding trade through the government's Fresh Start initiative. During a simple handing over ceremony, Calvin Johnson, hailing from East Brimeville, Georgetown, received a complete welding kit from the Director of Prisons, Nicholas Elliott. Director Elliott highlighted the core principle of the Fresh Start program, which aims to assist prison leavers in finding their footing again. The focus is helping ex-prisoners engage in self-sustaining activities to generate income and enhance their marketability. Expressing his gratitude for being chosen, Johnson shared his plans to make the most of the support provided. This initiative is a step towards empowering former inmates to reintegrate into society and pursue productive livelihoods, fostering their personal growth and contribute to the community's overall welfare. Don't go away after the break. Scientists warn of irreversible sea ice melting in Antarctica and South African communities suffering from coal pollution.
problem, Granny?
I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lenders, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Hello, my fellow TikToker followers. He is Credit, and today all we will be making Chinese noodles with peppies, chow mein, chicken fritters, and poise cake. For the noodles, all of these will be using peppies, black pepper, cashew,
Chinese sauce, soy sauce, garlic sauce, paprika, Chinese seasoning, chow mein seasoning, white spice, and all-purpose seasoning.
Next, this chicken that we marinated, soak for all you who don't know nothing with peppies, green seasoning, miracle seasoning,
Pepper sauce, chicken seasoning, paprika, garlic powder, dark seasoning, black pepper, onion powder, and ginger powder, and document plantain flour, and then this butter we make with this quick piece powder, and we
boil in oil. We serve with peppies, barbecue sauce. Radical went to the supermarket and she proper buy up enough things. She feels she alone can cook, but she routine even wrong. She shaped like a guy in a map.
Peppies has a wide range of ingredients available at supermarkets nationwide. Peppies, we put the pep back into your kitchen.
Smart Minds Educational Institute, offering preschool, nursery, and primary levels. Finally, a school that is every parent's dream. Located at 69 Crow Street, offering academic excellence, trained qualified teachers, small class sizes, personalized care, and one-to-one attention for your little ones. At Smart Minds, register for full-time or evening classes, daily practice pass exam papers for proficiency at the grade 2, 4, and 6 assessment, and CXE exam preparedness. Or join our Becca Phonics reading and writing program. So if your child is for preschool, nursery, or primary level, come to Smart Mind, located at 69 Crow Street, or call 231-4885 or 600-9229 to enroll now.
When you need money and you gotta get it fast, Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. That Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 46 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brick Dam and White Castle Fish Shop, be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure, always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
Welcome back. Now let's take a look at what's happening in the region and around the world. Cuban boxers have long dominated at the amateur level, but until recently, women were banned from the ring. Since the rules were changed in December, up-and-coming female boxers have their sights set on the Olympics. Al Jazeera's Ed Agustin went to meet some of them in Havana.
With more than 40 Olympic gold medals, Cuba dominates amateur boxing like no other country. At the Tokyo Olympics, the island nation took home 4 of the 8 golds on offer. But until recently, the glory was just for men. That changed in December, when the Boxing Federation lifted a decades-old ban and selected a national women's team.
Being the first woman boxer to have won a competition is wonderful. It's a dream come true. We women have been waiting for this opportunity for a long time.
Authorities once argued that Cuban women are meant to show their beautiful faces, not take punches. In more recent years, the justification shifted to safety concerns.
We didn't rush the decision to approve female boxing because we want to protect women. There were worries about whether boxing could damage women's bodies, especially when they're pregnant.
But many see the long delay as rooted not in science, but in patriarchy.
This was seen as a sport for men, while women were supposed to be at home. They didn't want us to box.
I thought it was unjust and it made me feel uncomfortable. I thought I had the same rights as men.
Having taken the first step and made it into the ring, these up-and-coming boxers are excited. Now that they're finally boxing competitively, many on the team feel they're already living their dream. But they have a new challenge fast approaching: qualification for the 2024 Paris Olympics. Ariane Inbert, who left the national taekwondo team to box a few months ago, thinks she's got what it takes.
Like
all athletes, my dream is to win an Olympic medal. But first I need to qualify. That will be hard, but I think I can do it.
As does her teammate, Karen Cantillo, even though she's only been boxing for a short time.
Before, my dream was for women's boxing to be approved. Now my dream has changed. I want to be a champion, win medals, and make history.
These women aren't only punching their way to the world's most prestigious sports competition, they're also shattering glass ceilings. Ed Augustin, Al Jazeera, Havana.
Internationally, millions of South Africans have no electricity for up to 10 hours a day due to the scheduled power outages blamed on its poor energy infrastructure. This is despite the country having one of the largest coal reserves in the world. Al Jazeera's Stephanie Decker reports.
Getting out of this abandoned mine is a back-breaking climb. A well-organized production line runs from deep under the Earth's surface into the light. But it's all illegal and is often raided by police. Coal is a lifeline for these men and women. Most of these communities are not connected to the energy grid and have high levels of unemployment.
It's something that we use to survive on, so it's very much important for us because it's what we are using, as a primary source of heating our homes because of load shedding and energy poverty. It's a situation that, our province is facing, that as much as we are generating electricity, we don't have electricity.
Load shedding is the term for South Africa's state-ordered power outages, ongoing for 16 years due to a combination of rundown facilities, corruption and sabotage. Mpumalanga hosts 12 coal-fueled power plants and countless mines. It's earned this province the title of one of the most polluted regions in the world. Mbali has 2 children and both have breathing issues, and she's convinced her eldest daughter's severe asthma is caused by the suffocating air here.
This coal kills us.
Mbali says Princess is always much better when they visit family outside the province. Here, she often needs a nebulizer.
I put medication inside when we have electricity.
Living side by side, not benefiting from the power these plants generate, and suffering from its emissions.
Reports that we've released have found that there is a link to cardiovascular disease, neurological diseases, so people are suffering from heart attacks, strokes as a result of the air pollution.
The pollution is also linked to around 3,300 premature deaths a year.
Activists won a case against the government last year with the Pretoria High Court ruling that the air quality here was essentially a human rights violation. It gave authorities 12 months to come up with a plan to improve emissions. Well, that deadline passed in March, and so far, little has changed.
Thomas was part of that case. He says the state-owned power companies try to cut corners by asking for extensions to comply with limits.
We also need to understand that our biggest polluters in the country is Sasol and Eskom. And Eskom being a state-owned entity, I don't think government wants to fight one of their own.
He tells us that parents here are raising a generation of sick children.
Sometimes I even think that maybe one day I'll lose my child because of this air pollution.
There is little they can do to change their fate. That will take money and ultimately political will. Stephanie Decker, Al Jazeera, Mpumalanga Province, South Africa.
And finally, rising water temperatures are causing concerns as far away as the Antarctica, where scientists are warning about the effects of falling sea ice levels. Al Jazeera's Charlie Angelique has more.
There is a sense of urgency at the British Antarctic Survey in Cambridge. Here, 14,000 kilometres from the South Pole, scientists are familiarising themselves with an Antarctic research centre before they head out on their mission. Like the ice sheets, their scientific strategy is shifting, from monitoring changes in Arctic environments to delivering the most accurate prediction data to inform policy on climate change.
Things are changing much faster than they have before, so we're losing sea ice, the temperature rising faster in the polar regions than any other part of the planet. We're finding parts of the ice sheet are melting now, and possibly going into irreversible melting, so they will contribute to sea level. So there's a lot of urgency now in what's happening in our science in the polar regions and how they're going to affect the rest of the planet.
From autonomous vehicles like the submersible Boaty McBoatface, named in a public vote, to the research vessel Sir David Attenborough, which is essentially a floating laboratory, and artificial intelligence, including creating a digital twin of the entire continent. AI will improve predictions in sea level rises, giving policymakers a tighter focus on what they need to tackle.
We let the AI see everything and look at all the maps and how sea ice has changed over the last 40 years and then project forward. And it was able to do that better than the other models that we've been using up until now.
Scientists here say we can't stop climate change. We've preloaded the atmosphere with carbon dioxide and methane, so the Earth will keep warming and the ice will keep melting, even faster around Antarctica. But sea level rises won't be linear. Instead, we could see sudden, big jumps. All they can do is give policymakers the best models of what is to come.
A key part of this new strategy is studying ice cores brought back from Antarctica and stored here in minus 25 degrees. Now, these particular pieces of ice contain air bubbles from 225 years ago, but they can go back 800,000 years. And they hold concentrations of greenhouse gases that will help scientists predict the future of climate change.
These scientists enjoy the most inhospitable places on the planet to make the rest of it more hospitable for humanity and hope their hard work won't be wasted. Charlie Angela, Al Jazeera, Cambridge.
This brings us to the end of our regional and global news coverage. Up next is the 3-day weather forecast. Save TV2 Headline News for this Tuesday evening. As we take our leave, we invite you to follow us on Facebook and YouTube. You can tune in tomorrow morning at 6:30 for our rebroadcast and at 7 p.m. in the evening for more news. Until then, please take care of yourself and each other.